This is the first episode of Quantum Exchange. My
Hello,
name,
hello, and welcome.
welcome. We're so happy to see you here. My name is Juan J. You can call me J, by the way, J Manuel. And your name, what is it? Which is
My
your name?
name is Sandra Klein, and you can definitely call me Sandra.
Excellent. So we're really happy to see you here. And what we're going to do here is just to talk, both of us, and to share our knowledge and experience and energy and love with you. That's like the main goal here. So first, in this episode, we're going to talk about what this is about. What is quantum exchange? So what do you think that is quantum exchange for you, Sandra?
So, for this podcast that
Uh,
we have created for you, for your delight, we decided to come up with this name because quantum is super important right now, and we are evolving into a quantum living, and an exchange is the things that we're going to give you, the tools, the thoughts, the new perspective that you can utilize to shift in your own life. So I think that's why we came up with the name quantum exchange. Is very relatable to futuristic expansion, to crypto, to
mhm.
what's happening in the world. And then I think this podcast is for us to share our perspectives, our stories, and hoping that what we talk about here will help some of you. What about
Sure,
you?
beautiful.
What is your perspective on our name, Quantum Exchange?
Yeah. So I share a lot of your ideas, but yeah, when I think about quantum, I think about that idea of a lot of perspectives at once, like the unity of different perspectives that may seem paradoxical, but are actually integrated and are one. So that's beautiful, a beautiful concept, because I think that what we strive for in personal development and business is to integrate opposites and be whole in a way. When you are whole and when you can be empathic with the customer, for example, then
Hmm.
you are not that much selling, quote unquote. You are serving because you know that you are one with the other two. And the connection is much more human and beautiful. And also in your inner work, in your personal development, when you are integrated, you find a sense of calmness and peace within yourself that is beyond anything else. So that's why that word, and also because it's very related with the progress and growth that is in terms of science too, that is doing humanity right now. And this podcast is very related with the growth and progress that we are doing as a human race too. And exchange, I love it because it's related also with the exchange in business and crypto world and the future, but also it's related with human exchange and having a conversation, an energetic exchange that we're having right now. So
Totally.
it's beautiful. So yeah.
So I want to expand a little
Mhm.
into what does it mean, the word quantum, where it came from. Just for a few seconds, I want to say that quantum physics was discovered in the 1900s by a German physicist, and he changed the way we do physics. So
Okay.
before we studied quantum physics, everything was Newtonian physics. Yeah. So now we change into quantum physics, and that has accelerated technology. So this that we're doing here right now, me and you being in a different country and us being on a video call, is thankful to quantum technology. So
Hmm.
the because people say, "Oh, I don't know what quantum is," but you're using quantum technology. So it's
Okay.
important to understand that is really that it relates to you too. It relates to all of us. So what the quantum physics theory says that the observer will have an effect on the outcome.
Yeah.
So the way you look at something will make that something behave in a certain way. So that's like the basic things of quantum physics. And it has a lot to do with how we manifest and create our lives. Because when you realize that what you think and how you feel will create your life, then you have an advantage rather than thinking that you have no
Mm-hmm.
power over the own creation of your reality. So that's what's
Beautiful.
beautiful about quantum.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of freedom, inner power.
Yes, totally, completely.
Beautiful. So we have several ideas here. Basically, this podcast, to don't overwhelm you, is about your inner growth, your personal development, and also business. Okay. Ideas that will help you with your business too. So now I think that we could talk a little bit about us as persons,
Okay.
because that will make it much more human and relatable. So, who are you, Sandra?
So I identify as a human being.
Okay, nice to know.
And I wear a lot of hats. So I'm a chef, I'm a mother, I'm a coach, I'm an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But at the core of who I am, I want to be relatable. I want people to see me from my humanity, for my shortcomings, not always for the amazing things that I have achieved, but the other part, maybe the shadow. So in a lot of my conversations will always be in a positive way, but there will always be shadow in it, because it's important for me as a human being to accept that there is two parts of me, like this part that is full of light, full of love,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other part that is dark and not so happy.
Mm-hmm.
But from that darkness in my life, the light shines out. So and I want you to, when you look at me, see yourself within me. Open person. My life is an open book. You can ask me anything. I have nothing to hide. And my purpose in life really is to share my stories, my experience, to see if there is someone out there that can use my own experiences and then inspire to become better or worse or something.
Mm-hmm.
So my purpose is to move you from where you are. It doesn't matter in what direction. To move, to create uh, energy with when you hear me, when you come to our podcast and say, you know what, I can do this. I'm gonna follow my dreams. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm not gonna sit here and do nothing. Instead, I'm going to believe
Mm-hmm.
that whatever I want is possible. So that's really my main purpose in life. And again, I identify as a female divine energy, and a human. So lots of mistakes, lots of baggage, but then lots of love, lots of happiness. And in contrast with you, that I'm older than you, right now I'm in my 50s and you're in your 20s. So I think this podcast is going to have enough juice for everybody. How about you? Can you tell us a little bit of who you are?
I love that. Yeah, sure. So I'm surprisingly a human being too. That's a coincidence. And yeah, I'm a lot younger. I have not that much maybe achievements maybe, but I'm feel very open, and with a lot of energy too. to learn, to grow. And I love the feeling of both of just being and also of growing and expanding. I think that we as humans move on those two. A healthy human moves in those two areas: expansion and just being. And I
Mm-hmm.
try to focus on those two in my life. Expansion is when I try to learn, to work, to heal myself of traumas and so on. And being is when I just go barefoot in the park and the grass. I love to do that, by the way. Breathe deeply. I love nature with all my heart. And just to go for a walk with myself, with my partner, I love that too, with her. And to have those experiences in which we don't need anything else. We are not needing to expand, but we are just enjoying that we are alive, and that's enough by itself. And you are enough, and I am enough. That's just something that I love to experience. I'm not perfect at it, and it's perfect like that, because uh, we also learn from the things that aren't aligned with our expectations. So those are just ideas that tell you a little bit about my path, about who I am. And we're going to keep knowing each other for sure in the podcast. But I'm just a person that is learning, that is growing, and that is living life right now.
And that's all we have to do when we come here, is to learn, to live, to be. One of my favorite things to do is to be. I love to sit outside in my backyard and look at the birds. They come down to the lake and they eat their fish and they fly, and they do this all day, and they want us come, and I can sit outside for hours and just sit there, and I love it. And people tell me like, Sandra, don't you get bored? And why aren't you working? And why aren't you doing something? I'm like, I'm doing something. I'm looking at the birds.
For sure.
Because it takes that himself takes courage to sit alone, to be with nature. It's not an easy task. People say, oh, that's easy, but it's not easy, because your body wants to be um, busy. Oh, why are you sitting here? Why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you working? Why aren't you calling people? Right, when we're trying to be. So I think that talking about the importance of connecting with the inner self and then connecting with nature is like something that is overrated, and people don't talk enough about it, and how important it is for success. You can't be grinding 24/7 because your body's gonna collapse, your mind. So I totally relate with you, as and the beam and walking with no shoes in the grass is like, I love it. If I could do that all the time, that would be amazing.
Nice. So when you prioritize your mindset and your health and your being, how that affects your work, for example?
So the more relaxed I am and the
Mm-hmm.
more peaceful I am, the better my business work is.
Mm-hmm.
So more people come to me. I attract more money. When
Cool.
I'm not in a good place, when I'm stressed, when I'm angry, mm, the energy changes in my environment. So I'm not as open to help others because I'm not in a good place myself. So for me, for my business to work, I have to be in a good place. And but that's only for me, not for everybody, because a lot of people, like we talked about a little bit ago, trauma has two ways to show up in life. You can use trauma to move up in life, and work and achieve success. But when you achieve your success, you're still traumatized, you're still empty, you're still addicted. And the other way is you can take your trauma and you can work with it, you can align with it, and then succeed. And then when you create a success from a healed place, you can definitely enjoy it. So I have used, I have been working on my own trauma so that I can now, every time I hit one of my targets, I feel so relaxed. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like anything. I just feel like this is just the outcome of all the work that I've done within myself. And it's a beautiful thing, you know?
Extraordinary. Yeah, I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for
What is
sure.
what is your approach to business and how you do things at this time in your life?
Yeah, last, sadly, Zoom has to cut our call. So let's resume our call. I'm going to call you back in a Zoom and we keep going with the conversation. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Sweet. There we go. We're back on.
Okay.
So you just asked me what is my perspective on business. Could you repeat
Yes.
the question? Yep.
Yes. What is your approach and how you see how to succeed in business at this age where you are?
Okay. Great question, because that's something that I'm working on in my, I see business as a huge opportunity to do inner work too, because your income can only equal your level of inner development. Always. If you have a lot of trauma, your trauma is going to hold you back a lot. So what is holding me back right now? And I think that is excellent that I share this with a lot of people, because a lot of people might relate with this, is
Yes.
I tend to be perfectionistic, but I just tend. Is that tendency is not who I am. It's a huge, beautiful way to phrase that. And basically that holds back a lot of people, because we set expectations that are not of humans, but are of an ideal, of a God that has to do things in a certain way that doesn't align with the things that need to be done. Actually, we are being unproductive and ineffective by being perfectionistic. And that's actually the thing we want to be. What we have is a wrong metric, a metric that is fueled by our ego, that we want to show ourselves in a way that we are perfect, that we are like gods or so on. But actually, people in the end doesn't care, don't give a fuck if we, for example, if you are someone that does an artistic or design related work, if one element is 1 pixel or 2 pixel above or below, slightly misaligned in a way, anyone is going to notice that, but you think that people are going to be petrified if you show something that is slightly misaligned. And you can apply that to any other thing. If you, I don't know, you are a manager and you didn't organize a document in a perfect way, other people is just not going to notice that, because people see the big picture, and that's what really matters at the end. So that's like the strongest word that I'm doing right now. And what is helping me, ironically, is to focus also on the other things in my life, the things that I love in my life. So I see through direct experience, not intellectually, that I love to go out. I love to go to nature. I love to have fun. I love to hear music. I love so many other things in my life. So it's not sustainable to be obsessed with something that is going to take away all my well-being and time and my emotional health too, by being obsessed and perfectionistic with something. Is not worth it at all. You see what I mean? So that's what has helped me a lot, to have things that I love, and also meditation, also trying to forgive myself, because I tend to be perfectionistic because I have a lot of inner shame. And I think that I'm fundamentally broken in a way, and that I have to prove myself to other people that I am valuable and I do deserve love. But that's something that I don't have to prove to anyone. It's something that is just who I am. But I have something that is like my inner critic, like a voice. And I think that you could relate with that. A voice that always says to yourself, but you did that wrong. Or what about that?
Yes, 100%.
It's like,
We all have that inner critic for sure. So people
mhm.
are definitely gonna relate to that. We all do. It never goes away. Okay.
Yeah, and it's, I just love because it's ironic, because life is actually in the end so beautiful, and we have so much potential that is amazing. And with things that are so small, we make them gigantic. I
Yes.
mean, your problems, because we lose perspective and we lose context, and we put ourselves in expectations and metrics that are not aligned with what is what it should be in our heads, but it's not what is. And that's what we need to start realizing, that is going to affect all our lives, including our business. I know that you asked me about my business life, but the thing that has helped me the most in my business life is working on myself. And when I, is very recently, I had a, like last week, I had a strong realization. I had been reminding myself to forgive myself, to remind myself that I do want to have a life that is not obsessed, and that this is not sustainable to be perfectionistic. And it's like a pressure cooker, you know?
Yeah.
If you do inner work and you don't feel that you are doing anything at all, that's not that your work is useless. It's just that the pressure is building up. I feel that a lot of times in life, you don't have to demoralize, you don't have to beat yourself up. You just have to realize that a failure is just a step forward, it's not a step back. It's just that sometimes a step forward is not the way that you think that it should be, it's just the way that it is. You know, is that imperfection? It's not imperfection, it's a perfection that your ego is judging as something that it shouldn't be like that, but it's just an ego thing. So that's several ideas that had helped me a lot. So reminding that I'm building that pressure of forgiveness, of clarity and consciousness. Got to a point last week in which I thought, okay, this is not sustainable. I have to just do a scientific experiment and deliver a work that is good, but that is not perfect. And that
Mhm.
petrified me because, oh my God, it felt really scary. But I just realized that I had to do it. I did use other techniques that I think that I will share it with you, but it's basically research Pomodoro technique, research making visual proofs or marks when you accomplish something. Every certain time when I felt that I wasn't obsessed, I just
Mhm.
made a mark in a paper, and that gave me
Nice.
a visual gratification that I was able to keep going and that I was doing it all right.
I'm
So
sorry. What's the name of that technique?
the last one is a
The one
remix
where.
that I did by myself, a remix of ideas.
Okay, so I think that you should definitely um, create something because I love it, and I think that we could all use that technique when we
Oh,
are.
okay.
So I think that maybe next time you can develop a
A spread,
sequence on,
yeah.
yeah,
A
how
guide, an infographic, maybe, or something like that. Simple thing.
Because what you said now, that you honestly confess that there is this inner shame, so
Hmm.
many of us feel the same and are incapable of vocalizing this. So if you have found like a little way where you can reward yourself every time you do something, please do share it with the world. Because
Oh, that's beautiful.
I myself want to know, and I too will definitely add it to my life of, because I'm very critical of myself. I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm very critical of myself. So if you can share the beautiful method that you created, a
Hmm.
combination of everything, that would be good, not only for you, but it could be good for me and everybody that is listening.
Oh, nice. I'm really happy to hear that, because some of the things that I really value in my life is contribution. So being able to
Mhm.
share my path. So thank you for that. And I will share it with more clarity about the steps.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect.
so yeah, that thing helped me, but it's basically to have a way to have clarity, to make obvious if I am being obsessed or not. Because if I let it like in the air, like I'm just going to do this in and whatever time it takes, and I don't put
Right.
like a limit, and I put like a path. It's very easy to go into autopilot and in the same patterns that you have followed
Okay.
the rest of your life. So it's just a way to take you away from autopilot. That is something that we should work on.
I can't wait until you share with us these steps, and I'm going to do them myself and see,
Nice.
and then share how they work for sure. 100%. I love
Beautiful.
the way you speak, and your desire to how would I say this, to suck the life out of life. I love it. I can feel it in the way you speak, and I'm so profoundly touched by the love I feel when you speak about yourself, even though you think that whatever mm, self negative
Mhm.
talk, when you speak, I feel so connected, and I feel like you're like this older person that has all
Uh,
this knowledge and wisdom. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because it sounds amazing, and it's definitely gonna help many of us, myself included.
oh, I love that. So
Mhm.
I'm really happy with that. We could have a follow up with
Yes.
these steps, and there are other things that help me for sure. It's not just this. I could give like a teaser that is basically to prioritize the decisions. It's a huge idea that I have been meditating about. That the thing that eats the most time is not the decisions, but is the deliberation time, the time that it takes to make a decision, the time that I'm reflecting. I'm thinking, should I choose these first? I'm a graphic designer. Should I choose this logo idea or this logo idea? But maybe this one is better. Yeah, but I don't know. You have no idea the time that I have taken after I design, just making a decision. But also when you are designing, I know that is specific, but you can take what I'm saying, take the principle and apply it to whatever else you do. So let's say that I'm doing a design. Should I move this thing a little bit above? Maybe it's not perfectly aligned. Alignment is something that I get so
Eh,
obsessed.
uh-huh.
And decisions, that realizing that an imperfect decision that is made quick is much better than a perfect decision that is done in a
Two
lot of
hours.
2 hours,
Yes.
because you could make decisions, and you can keep moving, and that's how you learn, and that's how you get feedback, because you are not working in a bubble, you're
I
working
love it.
with other people, you're working in an environment that you get feedback from, and so on. So that's also something that has helped me a lot to value more imperfect action that perfect inaction and paralysis by analysis. That's something that I have been thinking a lot.
Oh my God, this is so juicy and so good. And everybody can definitely use this advice, this suggestion, because it's true.
Mm,
Especially if we're not sure of what we want to do and we have to make a decision. We
mm,
spend so much time debating
yeah.
instead of just saying, okay, I'm gonna do it and then do it. And if anything is going wrong, well, you change it rather than, oh, I don't know. Let me think about it. Give me 3 days. Give me, and you're wasting all this energy and time on making this decision. So what you're
Yeah.
saying, what do you say? Analysis paralysis
Yeah. That one.
is so common in people, that and it's a wonderful. So you make a decision,
Hmm.
an imperfect decision is what you said, right?
Yeah.
And then you go with that.
To go with that.
I
And
love it.
is being able to embrace uncertainty is another key idea,
Yes.
because it's so important. You know what I mean.
Yeah, because it is in the uncertainty of life where we call miracles happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go in the direction that we don't know, anything can happen. Anything is possible. So being able to embrace uncertainty is most definitely a wonderful thing. So I loved your approach and I thank you for sharing it with us. And
Mm,
definitely next time bring you little step how you're doing this thing when you get caught in the perfectionism. Because
okay.
perfectionism, like you said, is a trauma response. So
Yeah.
the more you know, the more you can do about
Mm,
that. So maybe next time we can talk a little bit more about, now that today we talk about who we are and what we want to do, then we can next time talk about more what it takes to get a business off the ground,
mm-hmm.
involving the mindset, and also talk about where business is going with the new Web 3.0 and crypto and all these things.
Oh, beautiful. For
Yeah.
sure, my friend. I love
O-
that. And I'm really grateful to you for hearing this long pause. We are sharing a lot of value, but you valuing our time and our insights is something that we really appreciate, and we're really grateful for from the
Of
depths of
course.
our heart, for sure.
A hun- 100%, 100%. I'm so glad that that we found each other and that we're gonna be able to together do something amazing for lots and lots of people.
Mm,
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this with me and creating this new experience for all these people that really need what we're going to be talking about in our conversations here at Quantum Exchange.
beautiful. Okay, so
Okay,
that's
so
it.
that's it for today.
Have a
Big
beautiful day.
hug. Okay, bye.